Thank you very much, sir. How have you been?
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me.
So let's begin talking about when we talk about retail engagements at fuel stations. What is the consumer point of view? What is the consumer experience like?
So if you see the consumer point of view, I would like to put in two buckets. One, what I am saying is a customer who has time and a customer who doesn't have time. So a customer who doesn't have time, his changing behavior is that he needs to have a very quick service at the retail outlets. You come in. So therefore, if you see the fuel timing actually for a four-wheeler, it comes to around 5 to 6 minutes. So how are we going to make it easier for him, more convenient to him? And this 5 or 6 minutes is what is the extra value proposition that we are going to the customer. So this is how it is going to be there. Now there's a second set of the things, like who has got time. Okay, for example, somebody is traveling on a highway and you want to stop at a petrol pump, you definitely have some time. Now he looks for something different. He looks for something, what to catch up, how to take care of his vehicle, how to take care of his vehicle. And if there are more travelers along with him, how to use the clean washrooms. So there are many certain other points which, the customer behavior is changing. That's how it's the whole changing. And that's now the whole game is that the more and more we say what is the more behaviors and what is more needs for him.
So when we talk about fuel stations, of course, it's a variety that we have often seen and experienced if one may have traveled abroad. Are you trying to get that similar kind of experience here in India as well?
The answer is yes and no both. In the sense that if we are talking about the way the highways travel is increasing, the road convenience is increasing. For example, if you say earlier you have to go to Nagpur, and now you can even reach in 7 to 10 hours or something, maybe lesser than that. So from that point of view, whatever is the amenities that are there on the highways will be similar to that of the advanced Western countries or something. And then we have got these outlets with large spaces, somewhere around 5 hectares, 10 acres. So those are the things will be in the same fashion. But yes, from the other point of view, for example, we go to the urban markets and all. So here we have got, so much less delivery period of time. The focus of those customers, so those type of needs are not there. You have so many grocery mom and pop stores here. So those, their difference will be there. So that's from the point of view on highways, it's coming more or less similar in that station fashion.
So is convenience now becoming the, go-getter as far as customers are concerned? What is that the first point that you look at? Even as a family, say, if a big family seems to be traveling, what will be the convenience that you will be choosing for them?
So if you see that HPCL has, in fact, one of the frontier starting has been able to get the grasp of this. We launched a brand called Club HP first, a long time ago. Now it is, here the value is two things you look at it. One is from the customer and one is from the vehicle care. So it's a club taking care of both the people. From the customer point of view, what he looks like is that he will require something, to freshen up, something to take it along, and something to eat. So the small format food courts or the QSRs is what people look from or you can, as simple as that, you can have a dispenser at a retail outlet, pick up 2 or 3, the time is less, you just have to, grab a few potato chips or rifles or something and put it in your car and travel along, or if you have a kids for something. From the vehicle point of view, the first things will be important, like, filling the air. And then what is that the engine requires? So small terms, if you are going. So there could be something like, check the brake fluid. Now, for example, today's when you bring the safety, there's a nitrogen is filled. So nitrogen is filled because the whole concept is that, the tire, when the tire goes, the temperature comes, it will take more. So especially in those highways where the speed is very high and about 100 is an average speed now. So that and the roads being concrete, and then it becomes more important for safety point to have a nitrogen as a thing. So these are the various things which we are bringing one. And the second is like, the payments, easier payment solutions. For example, HPCL, we have got an HP Pay app. Not only from a user point of view, today when I want to have my driver wants to go, I can use that app and put a prepaid thing, 4,000, send him a pay code, and he can just go and fill it in the car. So this is the concept of integrated payments between what is the dispenser and an automation and my payment solutions is what is actually the key the customer looks like, and to make it as simple as possible.
So is there an amount limit in that? Because petrol prices go up. Hardly we've seen them coming down.
You can, anybody who will, today 100 rupees is what is the minimum. So lesser than that with the prices, like you said, hardly something may good, So
100 rupees on highways.
Yeah. As a consumer, every one of us feels that, including me. So the quantity.
So are you looking at any, sir, innovations as far as a modern Indian family is concerned? What is in that field that you're looking to innovate?
So if you are seeing as innovation, so that will be the key to all those things, right? For example, even in running the petrol pumps, okay, in a city like Mumbai or in Delhi, you will find that the retail cost is so high. So therefore, even for us to stay there, the amount of, we need to spend on the rentals or maybe on whatever, unless we have got some purchase sites, is very high. But the customer also requires, if you're given a chance that all the petrol pumps in Mumbai will go and everybody will have to, you can't travel another 50 kilometers to fill it, right? So therefore, when we are putting that, how do we maintain the profitability for us, right? And now the traditional was petrol and diesel. Now new fuels is going to come. So here the whole thing is that how can we utilize the each per square at the retail outlet? For example, we have been successful in creating models. For example, HPCL itself has opened a branded stores, happy shops. Okay, so there are good number of happy shops in Delhi which are doing quite successfully, and I'm also impressed about the per day sales. Almost 30,000, 40,000 sales per day, which will ensure that. So there's a customer innovation. So what happens is that how we use the innovation, the designing this thing, how we to make what are the new more things to be done. So these type of the things, or for example, the whole entry to the thing, more personalization. What is this? The minute you come to that, if are able to find out what is his needs, then we can position those things at the retail outlet. That is the forecourt will be totally integrated as far as the payments and this thing is concerned.
So I think when it comes to proximity, because you have been mentioning cities, now if you go to Mumbai or Bengaluru, and this is something that is catching up on Delhi as well, we need more petrol pumps and more proximity owing to the traffic jams and congestions that we have been seeing. But in the meantime, when you talk about these happy shops, what is this innovation all about? And can you tell us about the locations here in Delhi as well? I mean, would love to visit one.
So in Delhi, I'm not exactly, we have got the whole thing, but some markets, prime markets, I'm not. So there what happens is that we have designed the store in such a way that the design is almost around 300 450 square feet with what do you call all type of impulse items. Even we have put it, the planoragramming is then the positioning of the retail, what type of merchandising is required from that. And for example, we find that after some time that the energy, energy drinks, in fact, then we realize that people who are pay more. But traditionally we say that the food items what needs to be put. And then again, what we are again developing the software solutions for that. And then we are also tying up with various parties and how to get it. So these type of convenience stores is more and more is what we are finding out for happy shops.
Sometimes in convenience stores, you find some things that are not available at your regular
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That is what we are finding. What is that they want and the minute is there. Unless you have got systems, when you find it and quickly get it replenished. Yes. And then what is the alternatives you have for that. So that's
I think as an ardent customer, I have been to these kind of stores because just to go in that store, I have to fuel from that particular fuel station. But when we talk about the future, sir, in the coming 5 years, how future ready are you?
So future readiness in the sense is that the whole experience, what the customer looks is going to be totally different. People will be looking for an end-to-end solutions. For example, you will be going there with a prepaid setting, and then it is only expected that when you move out, this something what you want to order online will be delivered for you. Okay, so that's the quickness, that is the future that will be there for the. So what is that? How easily can we, otherwise you can't expect a customer to go to there and to the store and come back. And where do you park the car, or how much is the Petroleum? So what is that? How we can redefine the customer experience? Can we do more something about, the vehicle itself, how better we can services we can provide for that? But the larger game will be in the, high seat, the outsides, like how to make it as a destination hub. Okay, so there are people who are traveling over the weekends, travel has increased, and people will also like to, today they're saying that weekends, nobody would like to cook, right? People would like to start vacations, go to the outskirts, stay in a hotel and come back. So these type of new things are going to come. Or people may be looking for some Wi-Fi there and, look at some work. So can we have some, these coffee shops or happy shops where we can provide, venture into a, the own branded shops, what we are going to put. What is that new products we can going to add? And how is that we can make the retail, the whole, we have got the wayside amenities. What more can be added? Can we add more and more vehicles care? And then you have having been there, having added the retail shops can be added. And then when you're traveling there, how does a customer who's going for, say, for example, you go to Delhi to Amritsar or Katra, so you require a stop somewhere. So it is possible for us to have a small motels there for you to stay. Otherwise, you have to go down the highways and go to some city and come back, which will again increase, travel time an hour or so. So these are the things we are now for future prepared, and also more new fuels which are going to come, right? It might not be limited with this. As you're seeing, the new fuels are being coming. You can get into CBG, now you can get into hydrogen, or you can go into EVs. So these are some of the products will be there, and then the reorientation, or there could be some other, somebody would be looking for a greener fuel. They would say, no, we would like to have a biodiesel rather than a normal diesel because they have their own targets. So this is the readiness from the fuel points of view, from the dispensing units, modernization point of view, all these things which are readiness we are there for the next 4 or 5 years.
That's wonderful to know, sir. But are there any opportunities, any openings that you see in the non-fuel retail?
So non-fuel retail, as we said, yes, there's a huge, it's a very exciting business. So if you look at the customer footfalls at the retail outlets, what we have, a 2 crore plus customers coming to your retail outlet and having, and then with the spending thing, incomes are increasing, people has got more spending buyer. So how do I leverage it? So that's the only solution, and it's a non-fuel business, the way we form this vertical itself also. The purpose of forming a separate vertical and business is that to increase the customer value proposition, so that more and more customers to come to our retail outlet and the fuel rub off, as well as that to put this non-fuel business itself as a separate profit center. So that's how we are positioning this as a new vertical, and seeing huge potential in this.
So is there a scope of any digital transformation that also seems to be happening in the system?
Yeah, that's what I said. No? The whole digital system is that even some things like, say, number plate recognition, right? How do we recognize the customers? So we have the HPCL app, which has already got so many users. So we are enabling that. And through that solution also, we are offering him, the loyalty points, plus the cross-selling of these things, new partners. So all these type of, the digital interventions, whichever is retail, so is being done, and the more and more as it comes, we are using this data also. So we have all the retail outlets today, through a head office server, we can know each transaction, that is, each transaction is there. From these sales section, even if I want to go to any partner, the first thing they'll ask is that, what is the vehicle count? How many 2-wheelers are coming? How many 4-wheelers are coming? So all this data is captured every day and stored. And therefore, it becomes very easy even for us and those players who are entering our forecourt, because for them also it's like, viability, and then the number of, the current people. If 100 people come, they also will calculate the percentage of this will come for the non-fuel business. So the whole thing is that this data is where, and then as we go in more, we can connect it, and then we have got the LPG customer base, and then find out what he needs, and then put up more and more at the retail outlet.
So you mentioned EVs, sir. Now, when we speak of EV adoption, do you feel that there is also transformation happening in that field?
Yes, the EV transformation is happening because see, first thing is that the number of vehicles as they are increasing. The charging points are also now, we have HPCL has already got about 5,500 outlets where we have got the EV charging facilities. And we also have got a very good app called eCharge, HP Charge, right? Where you can, the whole filling, you can do it digitally. So here the whole proposition is that the dwell time there at the retail outlets, with whatever is the normal time you require for a traditional fuel, will be lesser, and for the EV certainly it will be more. So we will be also, now we also have got some battery swapping stations. Now with the EV coming from, more, today you can see any delivery boy who comes and delivers is a two-wheeler EV vehicle, right? EV, right? Now it's coming more and more four-wheelers. And now with the we are now with the e-drive and all, these will be going for that, buses are also coming. So you will find, now I am sure that these will not be far away where we will find, now you find a canopy and dispensing units of traditional fuels. Now you will, maybe in next, you will find the retail outlets with, 4, 5, 8 vehicles immediately charging. And as the charging speed increases, and that is how it's going to be there, and it is very exciting from that point of view. For us especially, because it brings EV versus mobility solutions. And it may as well go that after some time we may have to even go for then and deliver a charging station at their homes itself, right? So that type of mobility solutions will be coming as vehicles increase.
So with your decades long of experience at HPCL, how do you see redefining when it comes to the fuel stations in the coming times?
So that is what meant to sum it up all is that it will be an energy solutions. With focus on mobility. What the customer will be expecting is that energy solutions at it. We do not know at this point of time in which fuel will go. Like for example, we can see that CNG may come. It may be immediately replaced by the EV also. The EV might be replaced by some other product. So the retail, as a retailer we will have to do is that we have to be looking for as the readiness for all the type of energies we are available and position ourselves as energy solutions, be it LNG. If for example we want to put an LNG is coming up, everything, the amount of space required for LNG is very high. So the long distance hauls. And then as it comes, maybe we will also be doing the hydrogen also there. And then if it comes some other product. So this is how this whole retail transformation is going to be happening.
So, sir, has there been any change in consumer behavior? I mean, over the years, has there been any change as far as how you have been looking at consumers when they reach fuel stations?
Yes, consumer behavior in the sense that what we have seen is that they are, the buying power, say for example, say the choice, who influences, right? So we have found that children are also an influences, customer buying decisions, behaviors. And they are looking for, by behavior. One of the future that we are seeing is that people with travel on roads by pets. Okay. So the consumer behavior is that, so as and more is there, they will think that they always prefer solutions where you have got some pet stops. Or, for example, you want to eat.
Okay. Pet stops as it?
Like in the sense that you have a dog.
Yeah.
So you are having a food.
Yeah.
So two people are going. So you can't leave it in the vehicle. So, those type of things that change. For example, if you go in a family and you're staying in a restaurant, your children are there, what do? So the expectation is that you have a food court with a playground to them, and you have to look, you can't leave your children somewhere, right? So the positioning of the expectation, the consumer's behavior is that they would like to an extent where they could have the children playing in front of the area. Or you can put a thing like that, you have a gaming console there who will engage them. So these type of small behaviors, or for example, the behavior of, premiumization is there. They would love to pay more. They don't mind actually if they get good quality of the fuel and the good service at the thing. They are ready to pay more. We are having, branded fuels. And the second thing is that the consumer behavior for their vehicles is there. So as the cost of the vehicle goes up, the behavior for the vehicle care is increasing.
So you've thought about everything, literally. So, sir, last comments when we talk about the theme of this evening's event. It's India's Mobility Mission 2030, clean technology, smart manufacturing, and global vision. What are your thoughts on that? Closing comments, sir.
So we, as HPCL, we are looking forward. We want to be a participative in this mobility network, and we are now trying to reach out to as many partners as possible to have a collaborate with them and ensure that at HPCL position of the HP fuel centers are aware of the destination as a customer first preference from a consumer point of view. The preference should be for HPCL. That is what we would like to see HPCL with collaborating with all the partners and trying to say that yes, for them from their partnerships also, we should be a preferred partner for every one of. That is how we want to position ourselves.
I'm sure multiple people here in the room already are dedicated consumers, and they have been coming back in with the innovations that you have highlighted, sir. We are looking at a very bright future as far as forecourts and fuel stations are also concerned with HPCL. Thank you very much, Mr. Muralikrishna. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Mr. Muralikrishna, V.V. Muralikrishna, Executive Director, Non-Fuel Business, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited, sir. A small token of our appreciation, sir. Please do accept.